Devamrita ki, Ganga Mai ki, Yamuna Mai ki, Tulasi Devi ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki, Go Premanandi. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sisi Guru Gauranga.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralada Lada Daine. Pralada Lada Daine. Hiranyakashi Purvasa. Hiranyakashi Purvasa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Today we have in our midst His Holiness Devamrita Maharaj, and this time we were so fortunate that he is spending more time than normal. Maharaj is very busy, but in spite of his busy schedule, he had an extended stay. We are very fortunate to have him here, and we've been having a few programs going on very nicely. So without much ado, I would like to ask Maharaj to address all of you. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja
Hare
Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militang Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Tonight we're going to discuss a very intriguing section of Srimad Bhagavatam, the history of King Ranti Deva, from the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. When you read the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, you're very close to the 10th canto, the smiling face of Krishna. But we shouldn't overlook the 9 cantos before the 10th canto. Everything has its place in your spiritual development when you read Srimad Bhagavatam. So what about this king, Ranti Deva? In some way, this history of Ranti Deva might scare you, because you might think this is the standard for bhakti. So therefore, let me put you at ease by explaining that Ranti Deva is not to be imitated. He's a special character, special case. He's a monarch, he's king in the Puru dynasty, but he refused to maintain any wealth, any opulence. He would give everything away that he had, even his own food and water. So we don't ask you to do that when you take up bhakti. But we can derive from this history of Ranti Deva detachment from the material and attachment to Krishna. So Ranti Deva was very austere due to his focus on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very austere, even though he's king. Kings naturally are in touch with so much opulence. But Ranti Deva would just give everything away. So much so that he and his family members were trembling from hunger and thirst. Just whatever he came to him, just give it away, give it away, give it away. I don't think any one of you here has a spouse like that. His austerities are very special. And as I said, he's a special character, but we should understand that he's there in Srimad Bhagavatam, and his history is there because there's a spiritually inspiring point to hearing about him. But again, don't worry. We don't expect you to live like this. So, Ranti Deva was always austere, but he decided to be super austere and go on a 48-day fast. Aren't you so fortunate that you're born in the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and all you have to do is chant Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
That's your austerity for this day and age. What all the austerities that happened in Satya Yuga, what they brought, you get the same thing in Kali Yuga by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Yet people are so feeble in this day and age, so dull, that they think, chanting Hare Krishna, who has time for that? I'm so busy with my projects, my family, my work, my businesses. Who has time? Who has the desire to chant Hare Krishna? Sounds very austere. But when you hear about Ranti Dev, then you start to appreciate how magnanimous is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Ranti Deva had completed a 48-day fast. And someone brought him some nice prasad, cooked in ghee, milk. Okay, what a beautiful end to a 48-day fast. But just as Ranti Deva was going to take, he divided the food, part for his family, part for him. In comes a brahmana. And the brahmana says, oh, I'm very hungry. Please give me some food. So immediately, Ranti Deva, can you imagine? Just fasted for 48 days. And there's some nice sumptuous prasad, cooked in ghee. And you're about to partake with your family, and in comes someone, a brahmana. How can you deny a brahmana? Please, can you feed me? So Ranti Deva gave the brahmana a portion of the food. So that left something for Ranti Deva and the family. Then, just as when Ranti Deva and the family are about to partake, again someone comes, a Shudra. Please, I'm very hungry. Can I have something to eat? Ranti Deva does not discriminate materially between Brahmana and Shudra. He sees everyone as part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's known as a Samadarshi. He has equal vision. What Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, someone who is truly learned sees with equal vision a brahmana, a cow, an elephant, a dog eater. He sees that they are spirit soul wearing different bodies. So Ranti Deva gave food to the brahmana, and now he's going to give food to the Shudra. He doesn't make the mistake of thinking, Daridra Narayan, that the poor are God. He sees in the core of everyone's being the Supreme Personality of God, in Paramatma. He knows that although the bodies are different, because you cannot establish equality on the material platform. Just like in this room, some bodies are weaker, some bodies are stronger. Some bodies are healthy, other bodies are a little ill. So you cannot establish equality on the material platform, no matter how hard you try. But Ranti Deva saw the equality on the spiritual platform. All living entities are part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Mamayavamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Krishna tells Arjuna, you should know, all living entities are my fragmented parts and parcels. They're mine. So Ranti Deva saw that. Okay, I gave so much of my food to the Brahmana, now I'll give it to the Shudra. No problem. So then there was just a little bit left. So again, Ranti Deva is about to partake with his family. And in comes a guy with a herd of dogs. He was the master of a pack of dogs. And the man begs Ranti Deva, I'm hungry and my dogs are hungry too. So Rantideva, he's like Avaduta. He's like beyond all Vedic protocols. What does Rantideva do? He pays his obeisances to the dogs and to the man. We don't recommend you do this. But Rantideva, as I said in the beginning, is a very special character. So, he gives all the food away. The last remaining portions that were meant for Rantideva and his family. He had given so much of it away, there was just a little bit left. What was the little bit left, he gives to the dog man and his dogs. So what is Rantideva left with? A little water. That's all. And Shukadeva Goswami describes that Rantideva it seems like he's on the verge of death. He's been fasting for 48 days, desperately needs to eat, but he keeps giving everything away. Of course, in Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna tell you? Someone who's a genuine yogi doesn't eat too much or eat too little, sleep too much or sleep too little. But Rantideva, he's in a special category. So, in comes a Chandala, dog eater, the lowest, even lower than a cow killer is a dog eater. And so, the dog eater says, please, 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 I'm thirsty. I'm so thirsty, I'm about to collapse. Can you give me the water? So there's Rantideva on the verge of giving up his body. He's trembling. He hasn't had any food, any water, and now the last that he has, a little water. This Chandala, this dog eater, wants to take it. So what does Rantideva do? He gives him the water, saying that I don't want anyone to suffer. I don't want anyone to be in anxiety. I'll use my whole life to make sure that no one suffers. How could Rantideva say such a thing? He was feeling the suffering of others to be more than his own suffering. This is hard to understand. In his circumstances, you would be thinking, I need to drink water. I need to eat. But he's thinking of how others can be benefited. This is the spirit of a Vaishnava. You have heard before and read in the Shastra perhaps how there are three classes of devotees. The third class devotee, Prakrita Bhakta, materialistic devotee, just comes to the temple, offers obeisances to the deity in the temple, but has no idea how to treat devotees, how to benefit from the association of devotees. That's considered Kanishta Adhikari, Prakrita Bhakta, third class devotee. And then there's the intermediate, the second class devotee, who knows how to deal with devotees, how to deal with non-devotees, how to give mercy to those who don't know Krishna, and how to avoid those who are inimical to Krishna. That's the intermediate stage, Madhyama Adhikari. And then the topmost level, Uttama Adhikari, doesn't preach, because the Uttama Adhikari is like Rantideva. The Uttama Adhikari sees everyone as serving Krishna directly or indirectly. If they're serving Maya, they're still serving Krishna, but they're serving Krishna's illusory energy. So the Uttama Adhikari, as you undoubtedly heard, doesn't preach. So for the outreach, for the preaching to go on, the most advanced devotees come down to the intermediate platform, and because on that platform you can distinguish, this person doesn't know Krishna, that person knows Krishna. But as the Uttamadhikari, the first class devotee, you see everyone is serving Krishna. Persons are slaving for Maya, but that's Krishna's energy. They're serving Krishna. So Rantideva's realization that all living entities are part of Krishna, his realization is so strong that the suffering he sees in others because they've forgotten Krishna far outweighs any suffering that Rantideva would feel from his hunger and thirst. This is a state of existence that's very bewildering for us. You know what it's like when you're just a little bit hungry. But fasting 48 days? So Rantideva says, you can read in Srimad Bhagavatam, I don't want any material benedictions. I don't want any mystic powers. I don't even want freedom from material existence, repeated birth and death. Just let me act for the welfare of all living entities. So Rantideva said, I don't mind. I would like it to take on the suffering of all living entities. This is inconceivable for us. Parents, especially mothers, if they see their child suffering, they want to take on the suffering of the child. But take on the suffering of all living entities in the world? No. But that is Rantideva. So what happened? He explained that as he's giving the water that he has, the only water that he has, he's going to give it away. He says, as I'm doing this, I don't feel now any more hunger, any more thirst. As I'm giving away my last water that I have, I don't feel any pain. And he's totally focused on relieving the suffering of the Chandala, the dog eater. This kind of compassion is inconceivable to us. But Lord Chaitanya doesn't ask us to do this kind of compassion. All Lord Chaitanya asks us, as Krishna coming in the role of his own devotee, Lord Chaitanya says, wherever you go, whomever you meet, teach the science of Krishna on my order. That's our austerity. So Rantideva gave away the water. And then what happened? The persons who came and took all his food and water came back and revealed themselves who they really were. They were devatas, demigods. They were Brahma, Shiva, and other devatas. Now what would you think? Rantideva is in for the best. He's going to get some benedictions. What would I ask if Lord Brahma suddenly appears before me? Lord Shiva suddenly appears. What would I ask for? You see, Brahma, Shiva, and other devatas had disguised themselves as the Brahmana, as the Shudra, as the dog man, as the dog eater. They disguised themselves just to test Rantideva. They must have heard he's so generous. He gives everything away. His family has nothing. So obviously the devatas, the topmost demigods, were thinking, let's go see, let's go check this out. Let's test him. Now what is so remarkable about what happened when the demigods revealed themselves? I'm Brahma, this is Shiva, these are other devatas. What was so remarkable is that Rantideva refused to ask for a material benediction. That's the first thing that we would ask for. Oh. Give me Lakshmi, 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 and a house by the sea. Jai Jagadisha Hari. Rantideva refused to ask for anything material. He just wanted bhakti to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, due to the influence of Rantideva, his whole family were pure devotees. All his servants, all his chief ministers in the government, by the influence of Rantideva, they were all pure devotees. And all the subjects, all the citizens of his government, of his regime, were all pure devotees. This is how one pure devotee can affect the whole world. Prabhupada explains in the purport how one pure devotee can make thousands of pure devotees. So you can see that in the example of Rantideva. Now, we have to be clear that we're not advocating doing the austerities that Rantideva did. All we're asking is what? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That's all. And people don't want to do that. Oh, Swamiji, I'm so busy. My business, my family. This is the great tragedy. That Krishna has made it so easy in this day and age to be Krishna conscious, to practice bhakti. Krishna himself is very strict. Everyone knows that? In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, first you become qualified, then you can approach me. First you come to the Brahma Bhuta platform, the platform of spiritual awareness of your spiritual nature as spirit soul. And in that way, the proof that you're on such a level is you're always joyful, prasanatma. Nasochati, nakangshati. You're not yearning for any material acquisitions, any fulfillment of material desires, and you're not lamenting for the losses that are inevitable when you have a material body living in the material world. There must be losses. But someone on the Brahma Bhuta platform is beyond that. Brahma Bhuta prasanatma nasochati nakangshati. Samasarveshu bhuteshu. Such a person sees all living entities as equal. Not materially, not their bodies. As we said, there cannot be bodily equality. In this room, we have so much inequality of bodies. The men sitting here are not able to give birth to children. Not that I know of. That's inequality. But spiritual equality is the reality. Everyone is spirit soul, part of Krishna. So on the Brahma Bhuta platform, you see that. Just like Rantideva could see that. Of course, Rantideva was beyond the Brahma Bhuta platform. He was a devotee of Krishna. He was a bhakta. But in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying, in order to approach devotional service, in order to be considered a candidate to be a bhakta, you have to be on the Brahma Bhuta platform. Samasarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. Once you reach the Brahma Bhuta platform, then you can begin to approach devotional service. So I always like to ask, how many of you were on the Brahma Bhuta platform before approaching devotional service? Kalyan? This is how strict Krishna is. And in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna ask you to do? Sarvadharman Pritchada. Surrender to him. Surrender first, and then later you talk about what comes next. Krishna's very strict, but that same Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and gives Krishna away to persons who don't know Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the opportunity to love Krishna. How do you love someone who doesn't know you, or you don't know that person? How do you love someone that you don't know? That is my point. In this day and age, there's so much confusion about Krishna. Yet, Lord Chaitanya is giving away not only Krishna, but love of Krishna. And how do you know that you're getting love of Krishna? If you have the opportunity to engage in devotional service, you have the opportunity to love Krishna, to develop love for Krishna. So our only austerity is to take what Krishna as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving. Take the Maha Mantra. That is the medicine for all of our diseased states of mind. So we don't have to do what Ranti Deva did. He's a very special case. Obviously his family was on another level. Externally they seemed to be trembling from hunger and thirst. But by the influence of Ranti Deva, the whole family were pure devotees. Not only the whole family, the whole kingdom, all the citizens. Still, we don't expect you to do what Ranti Deva did. But we ask you, please chant the Maha Mantra. Please chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Krishna is giving himself away through that chanting of Hare Krishna. Who else wanted to take upon themselves all the sufferings of the living entities? In Gaura Leela, Chaitanya Leela, remember Vasudeva Dutt. Lord Chaitanya was in Puri. How many of you have been to Puri? So, the devotees were there, about to leave. The devotees from Navadvip had come to Puri for Ratha Yatra. One day we'll have Ratha Yatra here. So Lord Chaitanya was bidding them farewell. They're going back to Navadvip, back to Bengal. And so he's embracing each one of them. The impending separation was very emotional. They were going to part. They would come every year for 20 years in a row. These associates of Gauranga from Navadvip would journey to Puri for 4 months during the time of Ratha Yatra. And then they would return. So Lord Chaitanya is embracing them. They're about to say farewells, and Lord Chaitanya is glorifying each of the associates. No one can glorify a devotee like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he glorifies a devotee, it's like he's speaking with 1,000 mouths. If we could just get a drop of that ability to glorify devotees. It's much more nectarian than criticizing devotees. Glorifying devotees is such a delight. You can put a habit-forming app on your phone. Every day you tick the box if you said something to glorify a devotee. And gradually, there'll be a transformation. Sometimes you may wonder, how can we appreciate devotees? I was speaking last night about how ordinarily, due to your karma, you would never associate with so many persons that you are associating within the devotee congregation. Even if you're from India, still, oh, but he's from North India. She's from South India. Oh, Bengali. But because of bhakti, because of a devotional service, you're rubbing shoulders with persons that are outside of the scope of your karma. So to learn how to glorify devotees is such a divine attribute. And it's a necessary skill in bhakti. How to use your tongue to glorify devotees. If we could just do that to a slight extent of what Mahaprabhu did. He would speak like he had 1,000 tongues, speaking the glories of devotees. So he was speaking about Vasudev Dutt, who was embarrassed by Mahaprabhu's glorification. Vasudev Dutt touched the lotus feet of Gauranga and said, I have a request. I beg you to fulfill this request. You can fulfill all desires. Please allow me to express one desire. What is that? I want to take upon myself perpetually all the sufferings of the conditioned souls. Let them be free of suffering. Let them be free of material existence. Let me suffer all their sinful reactions perpetually. Let them all go back to Godhead. I'll stay in the material world and suffer their sinful reactions. What do you think of that? It's an inconceivable state of consciousness. Vasudev Dutt. When Mahaprabhu heard this, he began to cry. Such a state of mind has never been experienced before. What Vasudev Dutt is sincerely saying is incomprehensible in its magnitude. Let me take all the simple reactions of all the conditioned souls in the universe upon me. Let them go back to God, and I'll stay in material existence and suffer their sinful reactions. This is inconceivable. What did Mahaprabhu tell him? You don't have to do this. You don't have to take upon yourself all the sinful reactions of all the conditioned souls in the universe. Just by your desire, they'll be delivered.
Very well.
Krishna, Mahaprabhu explains, fulfills the desires of his pure devotees. Whatever the pure devotee wants, Krishna fulfills. To be a pure devotee means never to ask Krishna for something for your own benefit, but always be thinking, what is the best service? What's best for Krishna's service? Just like when Prabhupada visited Melbourne, he explained that if you're always thinking, how can I act for Krishna's pleasure, for Krishna's enjoyment? You're not living in Melbourne. You're living in Vaikuntha. You're living in Vrindavan. All the devotees said, Jai!
Jai!
So you can also do this in Adelaide.
Haribol.
If you're always thinking, how can I act for Krishna's enjoyment? What's the best for Krishna's pleasure? Then you're not in the material world, as long as you think like that. So Mahaprabhu explained that this desire of Vasudeva Dutt to take upon himself the suffering of all living entities, it's not necessary. He doesn't have to take upon himself the suffering. Just by his desire to benefit all living entities, Krishna can grant that. Just by the desire of Vasudeva Dutt. He doesn't have to undergo the suffering. So Prabhupada explains that you could say that the material world exists simply according to the desire of a devotee. Because by the desire of a devotee, material existence can be finished. Because Krishna will say, oh, my devotee doesn't want this material existence for anyone? Okay, everyone in the universe, back to Godhead. So Mahaprabhu further explained to Vasudeva Dutt that, so what if all living entities in the universe go back to Godhead? There are countless universes. Krishna doesn't even notice if one universe empties out of all conditioned souls. They all go back to Godhead. It's not even noticeable. It's so insignificant. Everyone here has seen a mustard seed, yes? Yes. You know how huge a mustard seed is. So Mahaprabhu explained to Vasudeva Dutt that the material manifestation is like a bucket filled with mustard seeds, and each universe is a mustard seed in a bucket. If you have a bucket of mustard seeds and one falls out, do you have a nervous breakdown? Oh no, a mustard seed has fallen out of the bucket, of the bag of mustard seeds. Oh no, what am I going to do? That's the example Mahaprabhu gave. He said that's how insignificant it is for Krishna if one universe all is emptied out because everyone goes back to Godhead. There are countless universes, like countless mustard seeds. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya explained to Vasudeva Dutt that your desire to take upon yourself the suffering of all living entities is so monumental, but you don't have to take on that suffering. Because you're such a pure devotee, just by your desire, Krishna can liberate all the living entities in the universe. So what does that have to do with us and our daily life? We aspire to be compassionate. That means we should become qualified in bhakti for our own well-being and for the best well-being of others. A materialistic devotee, prakrita bhakta, kanistadakari, simply thinks, what can the deities do for me? I want some material benefit, some material benedictions. That's why I come to the temple. It's good that someone's coming to the temple. But after a while, coming to the temple, there should be training in the purity of desire, how to desire Krishna's pleasure. And that happens through studying Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting Hare Krishna, japa, kirtan, taking prasad, hearing from advanced devotees. So this is our process, our educational process, to elevate devotees in purity of desire. Just like what happened to Ranti Deva. The demigods disclose themselves. I am Brahma, this is Shiva. These are other devatas. We came disguised as a brahmana. We came disguised as a Shudra, as a dog master, as a dog eater. Now you can see who we really are. That's another part of the test of Rantideva. Are you going to ask for a material benediction? No, Rantideva's vision was fixed on the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He just wanted to engage in pure devotional service. No material motivation, no material benediction. When you have devotional service, you already have the perfection of life. So sometimes we're like children that have a diamond in the hand and the child doesn't know the value. And so what happens? What can happen? The child throws the diamond away because of lack of knowledge. But if we truly understand what Krishna as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving, we'll treasure devotional service, cherish devotional service, because we know Krishna doesn't give out service very easily. Why? Because by pure service, Krishna can be conquered. He comes under the control of his pure devotees. So Krishna doesn't give out service opportunities so easily. But that same Krishna comes as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and just floods the universe with devotional service, which means flooding the universe with love of Krishna. So please remember that the main austerity is simply to chant Hare Krishna. We can't imitate Rantideva, but we can be inspired by his selflessness. Our austerity is different. Krishna just wants you to hear about him and chant about him. And that same Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and says, give Krishna to others. That's all. Chant, dance, take prasad, discuss Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, give Krishna to others. These are our severe austerities. So many times persons ask me, I'm not chanting. How do I start chanting? 16 rounds, oh, so impossible. They're all thinking, how is it done? 16 rounds? Who has the time for that? So practically every day, every city I go to, I explain the same thing. How many rounds can you do for sure tomorrow? Swamiji, I think tomorrow I can do 1 round. Very good. And so then the next week, it's like today is Wednesday, the next Wednesday, add another round. 2 rounds. Every week, go up by 1, but don't go backwards. I explain, this is the easy way. Anyone can do this. But if they just think 16 rounds, I have to jump from where I'm at to 16. So I explain, this is the baby steps way. And so many people, they do that and they realize this is easy. After 2 months or so, I'll be at 16 rounds, the minimum dosage. I ought to know, as many of you have heard me explain before. How did I start chanting Hare Krishna? Oh no, as soon as I emerged from my mother's womb, I was chanting Hare Krishna. I wish. No, I started 1 bead a day. 1 mantra. I had the beads, do 1 mantra, put the beads down. Okay, enough. So I explained to people that there's more hope for you than there was for me. So let us remember what our austerity is for this day and age. Hearing about Krishna and chanting Krishna's name. You don't have to give away all your food and water like your Auntie Dave, so that you're trembling from hunger and thirst. So your whole family is famished and malnutrition. You're not supposed to do that. Take nice prasad. Hear about Krishna, chant about Krishna, read the books, come to the temple, do some seva. And this way your life will be successful. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any questions? Do you have a question?
Yes.
Oh.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. First one. How can we kids develop Krishna consciousness?
How can you develop Krishna
How
consciousness?
can we kids develop Krishna consciousness?
How can you kids develop? By watching your parents chant.
Haribol.
Do you see them chant? Okay. By seeing them chant, you'll want to do the same.
And the second one, why did one day fast for 48 days? And why did he want to fast for 48 days?
Why, you're afraid you would have to do that? It's a different yuga. It's not Kali Yuga. He's showing detachment. But it's hard for us to understand because for us, just sitting and hearing Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam for 1 hour is too much. It's Satya Yuga. All the austerities of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga can be done just by, in Kali Yuga, chanting Hare Krishna. So now are you eager to chant Hare Krishna?
Yes.
Very good. Anything else? Yes.
Hare Krishna Gurudev. We all know that kings are rich, but how come Devamrita Dev gave all his property and things away?
That's how austere and selfless he was. Yes, you're right. Even his family, the royal family, they're trembling from hunger and thirst. He just would give everything away. Bhagavatam explains. You reminded me. Ranti Deva just would he would not endeavor for anything, any kind of material support. He would just say, whatever my destiny is going to give me, it'll give me. He would not go out of his way to get anything. That's how high his realization was. If it's meant to come to me, it'll come to me. I'm not trying for anything. So therefore, even whatever he got, he would give away. And he wouldn't endeavor for himself. He said, let my destiny bring whatever destiny is meant to bring me. So yes, he would just give everything away. Anything else? Yes. All the young ladies have all the questions.
We are supposed to keep something for emergency. How can we give away everything?
But Lord, we have to keep something for emergency.
How can we give away everything?
Didn't I say so many times that Ranti Deva is a special character? We're not meant to follow his example. We're in a different yuga, different time. Our austerity is what? And then by chanting Hare Krishna, you get the same benefit that Ranti Dev got from all the austerities he would do. Okay? So don't be afraid, just chant Hare Krishna. You want to chant Hare Krishna? All right. That's the same result you'll get as what all the sadhus and sages got in Satya Yuga. When they lived for 100,000 years and could spend 60,000 years in meditation. You get the same benefit by chanting Hare Krishna. Let us go deeper into our spiritual life by hearing about the activities of these extraordinary personalities like Vasudeva, Ranti Deva. We can't imitate them, but we can beg for a drop of their compassion and mercy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai His Holiness Devamrita Maharaj Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj is giving Srimad Bhagavatam class tomorrow morning.
Krishna, Krishna.
Kirtan, Adelaide. Leave a like and subscribe.